So the moment we've been waiting for on this channel is finally here. The Resident Evil 8 DLC has finally been announced, and we're going to be reading from PlayStation Blog today everything that entails, and then everything we've just been kind of excited for, as well as just some of the speculations that we were wrong about, and, rehash those. But I'm so excited for this. I've been waiting to dive back into it. I tried to replay the story a little bit, get a New Game Plus, but it wasn't the same I guess thrill factor when you're running around with like the end game guns and then you're in Castle Dimitrescu. It's just not the same, but I am ready for new content. I'm so excited to see the new Mercenaries modes, the actual full DLC, and just everything they're going to do with it. So without further ado, let's get right into it. If you guys have been following this channel for a while, we've been covering the Resident Evil 8 DLC and everything that, has to do with a lot of the Resident Evil content. So if you guys are day ones, be sure to smash the thumbs up button. If you guys are new, consider subscribing if you want to stay up to date in all the latest gaming news we cover here on the channel, as well as just turn on that notification bell so you guys never miss uploads. Without further ado, let's get right into this really good article. So like I said, the article is from PlayStationBlog.com. And it's from June 13th, 2022. Now, this Resident Evil DLC was announced at the Capcom event during the full Summer Games Fest. It was just during their trade show specifically. And it says Resident Evil Village DLC Winter's Expansions launches October 28th. Resident Evil Village is the latest in the critically acclaimed survival horror series launched in 2021 and has already sold over 6 million copies worldwide. The blend of a wide variety of unique characters such as Lady Dimitrescu, an action-oriented game system, and the story of Ethan Winters, who embarks on a journey to search for his kidnapped daughter, continues to be enjoyed by longtime Resident Evil fans and newcomers alike. There were many requests for additional DLC, and we announced that additional story content was in active development in June last year. Now, they made that announcement during E3, I believe, last year, and all we got was a little picture, and I'll put it on the screen for you guys that just said, the fans asked for it, blah, blah, blah. We're working on DLC, and then that's pretty much all we got from it, except for when they just announced this. We're finally happy to announce that the highly anticipated DLC Winter's Expansion is coming on October 28th. Today, I would like to explain a little bit more than the 3 contents included in the DLC. If you have not experienced Resident Evil Village, we're also offering a bundle that includes the base game and the Winter's Expansion. Resident Evil Gold Edition will also be available on the same date. So the first piece of content we're going to be getting from the Resident Evil DLC is a third-person mode. The first piece of content is the third-person mode. This will allow you to play the main story in a third-person perspective. The new viewpoint will let you see Ethan as he faces off against his enemies. Those of you who are new, as well as those of you who have yet to experience Resident Evil Village, can experience the story in a fresh perspective. And I'll put those screenshots as we talk about that there on the screen for you guys. The second piece of content we're going to be getting is the Mercenaries additional orders. So we all know the Mercenaries mode was basically like a challenge mode, and they're adding 3 different modes now with more usable characters. It says the next Mercenaries additional orders, the arcade-like action shooting experience returns with additional stages and new playable characters such as a fully prepared Chris Redfield, Karl Heisenberg, who wields a giant hammer and possesses the ability to control magnetic forces, and Alcina Dimitrescu, who is over 9 feet tall, and we did see in a clip that she can throw dressers at people, so that's pretty cool. It says each one of them are unique in their own, so we'll truly enjoy that. Now, for the main piece of content we're going to be getting, what we all know it is for is the Shadow of Rose story, and it says, and finally, Shadow of Rose. Players saw Rose as a baby in the main story, Resident Evil Village. This DLC will show her story of survival 16 years after the original campaign. We have some screenshots, as well as an overview of the Shadow of Rose, so hope you enjoy this story. So I'll put those pictures on the screen for you guys as well. And the setup for Rose's story, it says 16 years after the events of Resident Evil Village, Rosemary Winters, Ethan's beloved daughter, has grown up and is now struggling with terrifying powers. In search of a way to break free from her curse, Rose enters the consciousness of the Megamycete. Rose's journey takes her to a mysterious realm where memories of the past return to create a warped and twisted world of nightmares. In addition, And now you got this when you bought Resident Evil Village originally. It just wasn't active yet. It says, in addition, Resident Evil RE-Verse, which was a bonus content for the Resident Evil Village, will start its service at the same time as the Winter's expansion on October 28th. We hope you will enjoy the action pack game as well. Now, this is going to be more of that like third-person combat shooter, multiplayer, PvP type of game mode. But it is interesting to actually finally be getting that, because it has been installed on our systems. When we bought Resident Evil Village, you just couldn't play it yet because the service for it was not live. But I am super excited to dive into it. I think it's going to be really cool to have this like arena shooter with all the Resident Evil characters, and with everyone's different like weapons and abilities and skill sets. Where it's going to be really interesting to see what they put together there. But going back to some of the DLC stuff, the main speculation that everyone had originally was that we were going to get an Ada Wong DLC, because she was originally in the concept art for the game. However, that's not the case. Obviously, we're getting Rose 16 years later after the events of Resident Evil Village, and the game kind of ends that way. You see she's at Ethan's grave at the end, and then driving up the street. You can tell she's in her older years. She's a teenager now, and then you see the secret figure. If you zoom in, it was Ethan. But that's as far as we know about like her past so far, and we're gonna get all that when we get the DLC. I'm super excited to play through it. Mercenaries Mode I never really dove into, but maybe with being able to play different characters other than Ethan might be pretty fun. I don't know. The Demontress thing, like I said, she can throw a dresser at people, so that's pretty interesting, I guess. And using Karl Heisenberg hammer as well as his magnetic powers. Hopefully they do something cool with it. I'll definitely check it out. I wasn't a fan originally of the original mode, but it's whatever. I'm sure there's some of you guys out there who do enjoy that Mercenaries mode. And last, the biggest thing that I'm excited for, because I know throughout the past year of making these Resident Evil videos, there's been so much talk of, I like first person, I like third person. I've never really heard anyone say they like the fixed cameras, but there's been a lot of people just saying that they haven't played any of these recent Resident Evil games because they like the third person mode. They like the third person over the shoulder combat. And that being offered now, I think, is one of the biggest things, because the story is the best part about this game, but being able to enjoy this story from a different perspective, and being able to take in some of the environment in a different way, I think that's going to be the really, the icing on the cake for me. I hope you can play the Rose DLC in third person as well. That it does look that way. But we're just so excited to play this game. I cannot wait for October. October is going to be such a big month for games. So we're definitely going to be doing a review when this comes out. I hope you guys are excited as I am. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear what you're most excited about for this Resident Evil Village DLC. But that's all I have for you guys today. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to smash the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing here if you guys are new to the channel and want to stay up to date on all the latest gaming news we cover. And like I said, just turn on that notification bell so you guys never miss an upload. As always, my name is Ross, and I will see you guys in the next video.